We're looking over to the Premier League once again, and this time we have crossed double digits because we are going into round 11. So Victor does not have any choice but to look at the table, whether he likes it or not at this stage of the league. But, anyways, moving on to the topic of discussion, we'll be giving our predictions ahead of the latest game week as usual, and starting with the straight win selections. What are your best picks for the weekend, Victor?
Yeah, it's been a while, so I'm gonna do again a stay away warning this week. So two tips and the red flag. Firstly, the tips. Chelsea to beat Wolves at 141. I think this one's one of the more obvious ones, and you would expect shorter odds for Chelsea at home, especially against a side like Wolves. My guess is that the bookies are factoring in the long away day in Azerbaijan, but I think Chelsea should still be able to beat Wolves. Another one is Palace versus Brighton. I'm going with double chance draw or Brighton win. It's at 167. With all due respect, Palace are not they're not equipped for this sort of thing, okay? They're playing tonight in the Conference League, and it's not an easy game either against an in-form AZ Alkmaar. I think Brighton are going to give them a hell of a game. The only reason I'm not picking a straight win for Brighton is because this game, just like the Conference League one, takes place at Selhurst Park. So Palace don't need to deal with any traveling this week. And the stay away tip is for Sunderland v Arsenal. I feel like it can really go either way. I don't believe we'll be seeing a draw here, and it takes a braver man than I to back either of these sides to win outright. Arsenal are priced around 145, which is long considering the form they're in. And at the end of the day, this is a game against the newly promoted side.
Hmm. Yeah, fair enough. I'll just go ahead to say I am definitely a braver man because in the one of my straight win selections, I have Arsenal to beat Sunderland. Yes, I
Of
know
course.
Sunderland are riding on a wave of confidence right now and whatnot, but the key takeaway for me here is Arsenal's defense. I mean, I don't see Sunderland scoring two goals. So what's the best they can do in my opinion? Maybe score one. I don't see them. The best they can get is a draw. The best they can get is a draw. In my opinion, it's more looking like an 80% win for Arsenal, to be fair. And moving on, I'm also going for Chelsea v Wolves. But yes, I would also add that it's a potential banana skin because the Chelsea players looked very tired, in midweek in Baku. And we really don't know how Maresca is going to take this game because players like Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez also had to play in that game. So it's going to be very difficult in terms of rotation. And my third selection is another tricky one, but I'm backing Newcastle. I know they struggled and they suffered a shock result against West Ham, but I think they should be able to beat Brentford. And it's actually priced at 2.12 odds for Newcastle to win. So I think I see that one happening anyways. Moving on to the goal market selections, Victor. What are your best picks?
Starting with what you ended, Brentford Newcastle over 2.5 is at 188. Uh, I don't know. I think this game has goals in it. Over 2.5 has landed in the last four head-to-heads. Newcastle look potent in attack at the moment, despite they absolutely dropped a clanger against West Ham last weekend. But they do look good in attack, and Brentford should also be good for a goal. They've scored at least one goal in 8 of their last 10 fixtures in all competitions. And my second pick for goal markets is Spurs versus Man United over 2.5 at 172. Again, a bit surprisingly long, but I think if there's one thing we can expect from these two, it's chaos. Yes, there was that last head to head in the Europa League final that absolutely sucked the life out of everyone watching, but I think that was more due to the high stakes involved. This time it's a league game. There's more margin for error, and I think both sides are decent going forward, and at the same time, not all that in defense. So yeah, three or more goals.
Yeah, fair enough. For my goal selections, I'm starting with the same one you ended with as well. Spurs v United for all of the reasons you mentioned. There will probably be chaos, and people are also underlooking the fact that United are actually one of the sides with the most goals so far. I think they are joint third for most goals so far this season.
Yeah.
So they actually do know how to score and they know how to let in goals as well. So it's a good recipe for 3 goals. I'm also backing Aston Villa against Bournemouth. I think Bournemouth to see a decent amount of goals. Hello? Yeah. Yeah, someone keeps calling me for goodness sake, man.
Yeah, on your end it froze, so maybe start
Yeah,
again from the second tip.
second tip. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so for my second selection, I'm backing Aston Villa Bournemouth to see at least 3 goals as well because I think both sides will definitely get on the score sheet, and that is pretty much self-explanatory. And then for my third selection, I'm backing Crystal Palace Brighton. I think it's a game that can actually go either side, but the fact that Palace might be fatigued from their game, from their Europa Conference League game, I think that's going to play, a very big part in how this game might end. And moving on to the next one, best player to score selections, Victor.
Everton v Fulham, I'm going with Ndiaye for 375. I think he's been great this season, and I believe Fulham's big guys at the back, they're gonna have some trouble with his movement, especially since in home games he's been allowed to roam quite a bit. Another one is Brentford versus Newcastle. I'm backing Voltemade at 290. Yes, he did play over 80 minutes in midweek and failed to impress once again, but I don't think Eddie Howe views Osula as much of a starter. And with Wisa still out injured, who else? I say back Voltemade, and if he doesn't start, just take the push. And my third selection is from the Man City v Liverpool game. I'm backing Salah to score or assist. It's at 195. Granted, his form this season has not been great, but he does enjoy playing against City. I'm not backing him to score outright because of his form, but I think he's definitely got a goal contribution in him for this game.
Fair enough. For my player to score selections, I've also got Liverpool with City, but I'm going with City. I'm backing Alan to continue his onslaught in the league. I just think he's going to get on the score sheet. Alan to score is like it needs no explanation these days. And then I'm going with Semenyo against Villa. Semenyo, I think, is going to be eager to get on the score sheet in that game, and it looks like the kind of fixture where he could try, and enjoy 1 or 2 goals maybe. And then I'm also backing Saka against Sunderland, and this is mainly based off the fact that I think Arsenal will definitely get a penalty against Sunderland. I have a bold feeling about that, and I think Saka is going to be eager to score because Gyökeres is also not going to be playing that game. So Merino is probably going to be the one starting up front. So Saka would want to take more of the goal scoring burden too as well. And then finally, I'm also going with Mateta against Brighton. Yeah, like I always say, after Alan, Mateta is quickly becoming one of my most consistent guys in the Premier League, and there's a bit of an issue of if he'll be fatigued, but I still think it's going to be able to play well enough to get a goal in this game, at least in my opinion. And anyways, moving forward, Victor, any same game tips to go with?
Yeah, I put together a two-liner for Spurs v United. I'm going BTTS 151 and over 2.5 shots for Cunha 164. That brings the overall to about 247. Again, backing the chaos for BTTS. As for Cunha, he's a known quantity by now when it comes to pushing himself to finish attacking passages of play for United. I'm not going with shots on target, although he has been working the keepers a bit more recently, but he just seems to run out of steam because he carries the ball a lot. And when he gets to the shooting position, he often doesn't have enough in him to actually be as threatening as he should be from those positions. So yeah, just shots for him.
Fair enough. On the final note, any bold opportunity to take advantage of?
Yeah, I've got over 1.5 goals for Brighton away to Palace, and it's at 255. Um, Brighton have been scoring plenty. I feel like some of Palace's defensive mystique has kind of dissipated, and yeah, Brighton they're solid going forward. I think they have two goals in them. The other one is a bit surprising because it's a relegation clash. It's West Ham v Burnley, and I'm going with over 2.5 goals. It's priced exactly at two. Yes, I think both sides will be going into it with a lot of belief. West Ham, they've finally broken their duck at home against Newcastle, no less. As for Burnley, okay, they lost against Arsenal. Nobody expected them getting a result there, but they kept the scoreline respectable. They lost 2-0. And the two games before that, they won against Wolves and against Leeds, fellow relegation candidates. It seems to me like for this game, the only way for both Nuno and Scott Parker is to just go for it, try to build some momentum, and pull away from the quicksand.
Yeah, fair enough. For me, I've just got one actually. Newcastle to score 2 goals. It's priced at 2.70. I don't know why it's priced that high. Yeah, to score 2 goals against Brentford, it's priced at 2.70.
No.
Shocker. I was shocked as well when I saw that. I'm definitely going with that. I mean,
Wow.
yeah, I'm guessing maybe they're banking on the fact that they played in midweek and they'll be fatigued. But against Brentford, I think it's a good value to go for, to be honest,
Yeah.
Newcastle to score 2 goals. Yeah, and I don't want to sound like saying something Max would enjoy, but I think United can score 2 goals against Spurs as well. I think United can just score 2 goals against Spurs as well. Those are my bold opportunities for the weekend, and we're just gonna have to see how everything play out. And there you are with those are our predictions for game week 11. It promises to be exciting, it promises to be fun, and of course, it promises to give us one or two shock results that we'll be sure to discuss after the game week.